white woman, yep, out in Spain. She was called out on social media for stealing the work of a Black artist. Yeah. Here are the two artists in question here. Check out their pictures. The Spanish artist pictured on the left, that's Gala Knörr. She's accused of plagiarizing the work of the Black queer artist Dayday on the right. So this is what we know about the situation. Essentially that people really picked up that there were glaring similarities between Knörr's painting, particularly the young cowboy gazing, and Dayday's short film Blue, a film about Black cowboys that discusses segregation, whitewashing, and Black erasure in the history of cowboys and the rodeo. And so according to Paper Mag, several people pointed out the hypocrisy of Knörr, a white artist perpetuating Black erasure through her work, which is the very issue she said that she wanted to highlight. Now, Blue assistant director Nichelle Knox also commented on the situation, telling Rolling Stone she could have used this opportunity to highlight the team or highlight Isaac Redfern, the Blue actor Knörr portrayed in her paintings. And unfortunately, she didn't. Knox added that it makes the intention of the art and her message very questionable. Knörr said in a statement that she simply made a mistake. But of course, that mistake was very profitable for her. Yeah, Knörr and the museum, not just really any museum, but I think it's like the Guggenheim, if you've heard of it. Well, they eventually reached a solution with Dayday. Rather than taking down Knörr's paintings, well, Blue will now be exhibited alongside the artist's statement, which now also says that Knörr directly incorporates images inspired from the 5-minute film Blue. That's an interesting use of a term, plagiarize, directly incorporating. Like, come on now, let's just, nonsense. Anyway, another news story related to the theft of a Black artist actually also happened. Aaron DeGroff, that's a director of the Orlando Museum of Art, was fired recently about 5 days after the FBI seized 25 purportedly fake paintings on display that were contested attribution to the late artist Jean-Michel Basquiat. Yeah, so there were some Basquiat paintings that appear to be forged, and the FBI ran in and raided the joint, which is something they rarely do. I'm talking like, because they have an art division, maybe once every 20 years. Anyway, yeah, so this Orlando Museum of Art really tried it and they got caught. But if these paintings had been authentic, well, the Basquiat paintings would be worth around $100 million. This really seems to speak to the fact that there are so many Black artists and thinkers, contributors with incredible talent in our society, yet there seem to be so many white people willing to latch onto it, dig their talents in, and claim it as their own. Whew, wow, it just seems to be something that we are seeing a lot of. Jeff.
So for our older generation, this is the equivalent of Elvis being put on as the white Negro while Chuck Berry and Sister Rosetta Tharpe get nothing. And for our younger generation, this is the TikTok thing where white artists and white TikTokers were stealing dances without citing their references. And I just want to point out that the artist, when she said that she made a mistake, I've made mistakes before. I've spilled milk. Looking at a painting, or in this case, a movie, and drawing and painting what that was is not a mistake. Making art is a long, drawn out process that she had to do over a long period of time. That's not a mistake. That's not a lapse in judgment. That was deliberate, and I'm glad that it came out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, you can't tell me you didn't steal that. You stole that, you misappropriated, you jacked, you can say anything you want. You look at it and you can't tell me that that wasn't something that you were looking to exploit in some way, based on my opinion. And for her, and also the Guggenheim, I believe that was the museum, for it to even leave it up. When she said, I was trying to make the point of stealing Black people's work being wrong, so I stole Black people's work. Like, get out of here with that mess. I just don't understand how you have these historically, generally white institutions, as well as white people who are ripping off Black people's work and then trying to profit from it. And the way the system continues to bolster and uphold that, it's disgusting, but it also makes it so that we Black people don't want to even contribute our art.
Yeah, and I'm just glad you mentioned this, because yeah, her art still remains up in addition to the correction being made. So great, I guess that's some degree of justice that you and I have been bringing up from time to time during today, but it's not complete. It's incomplete because her work should be taken down because it's a fabrication. It's false. She's lying. She didn't cite her references.
Without a doubt, claiming that it is her own. There's no accountability as far as I'm concerned, because adding that asterisk ain't gonna do it. Not only do I need any kind of money or any kind of gains that you received as a result of that art, I need your name to forever be associated with plagiarism because it's problematic. But that's something I would need. I'm gonna leave it to the other people, Dayday and his team to handle it, or their team to handle it. I completely respect that.